Well, that's another day over and done with. I was, if you watched my previous video, talking about the dilemmas in terms of I'm on a course for 2 days and my memory retention, etc. And the good thing is whilst we went over some new stuff, we went over some old stuff and did some practice multiple choice questions on stuff we'd covered in the previous 3 days. So that was good. So you feel like something's maybe embedding, or you're starting to feel more familiar with it. But the reason I've jumped on is I wanted to ask how you're all faring with your stomach and in terms of foods that you're eating as part of your menopause journey. Are you finding that you're getting more sensitivities and intolerances as opposed to allergic reactions? Because I wouldn't say any of mine's an allergic reaction, but I certainly do have intolerances to the core things a lot of people have. Mine's not gluten, it's wheat, it's barley, it's oats, it's dairy, it's both cow's dairy and sheep's dairy, and I did have a sensitivity test done a couple of years ago. I mean, it flagged up all the stuff that I was aware of, but it actually flagged up some other stuff that I wasn't aware of but actually made sense. And let me give you an example of this. I don't drink white wine. I'm not a big alcohol drinker now. I have been in my day. I don't drink white wine because with white wine I can't temper how much I'm drinking. I go from being totally sober to being really drunk, and there's no measure, there's no in between where you think, oh, I'm starting to feel that have a little bit of effect, I'll slow down. It just goes from one extreme to the other, as opposed to if I have like a short, like a vodka or a gin or a Bacardi, after one or two drinks I'll start to feel very relaxed with it, and I'll start to notice the effects of it, and then I can slow down or stop if I want to, and knowing that I'm in control of that. Well, coming back on point is, as part of my sensitivity test that I had done, one of the things I was 100% sensitive to was white wine, and that was a key moment in thinking, oh, there's a basis for this. And even though I have not drank white wine probably for about 15-20 years, it still came up. So that was really good to know. And it's not like an allergy test. Allergy tests apparently only work if you've been eating the food stuff recently, so they can test how your body reacts to it. And if you haven't been eating the food stuff, like I've been to see a few nutritionists, and I'd say to them, I think I'm intolerant to wheat, and they've said, have you eaten it recently? I said, no, I've cut it out. And they'll say, well, we can't test you for it because you've not been eating it, so it's not going to show up. Whereas this sensitivity test did bring up all of those, and a few surprises. But anyway, bringing it back on point to today, I ate something at lunch today, which I don't know what specifically was in it. I hadn't brought my own food, which I try to do a lot of the time for various reasons. One, it's cheaper, and two, at least I know what I'm eating. And I went to a local shop and I bought a ready-made chicken teriyaki meal with the chicken teriyaki and the rice, and I thought, well, that seems okay. All I can say is within 15-20 minutes of eating that, I had this acute reaction to it. Not painful at all, but my stomach started gurgling, started bubbling, like this little mini volcano erupting away inside. It was that loud that everybody else in the room could hear it, and they were all looking at me and they were all laughing, but in a nice way, in a supportive way, and asking questions like, is that painful? Which it wasn't, and it isn't, but it's embarrassing to have that sort of reaction, and especially in a classroom environment where we were all sitting there waiting for our tutor to start talking, but at least they were supportive. What do you guys, have you noticed any changes as part of your menopause journey in terms of sensitivities having increased? Because I've noticed a lot more things I've become sensitive to. Today, I can't quite put my finger on it. I think it's obviously some of the ingredients. When I then looked at the packaging, there was slight wheat was bolden, because obviously allergen information in the UK, you have to make very clear any food products as part of the whole package. You've got to highlight them in bold, and there was some wheat in there. There was some sort of a sweetener in there and preservatives, and I can only but think I've had a reaction to them. There was some soy as well. So yeah, it was just really interesting to talk about that in terms of what's your journey like. Are you finding the same or not? You know, your gut's fine, you can eat what you want, strong as an ox, whereas whilst, you know, today wasn't painful, it was just uncomfortable that, you know, people around could hear it. To alleviate that today, and I'm not sure if it really worked, I went and made myself a hot drink, a cup of tea, because I just thought tea would maybe calm my stomach down a bit. I usually drink my tea black, but I decided to have a smidgen of a bit of milk in there to help settle it. And over the course of, say, an hour, I had 2 cups of tea because I just wanted to try and do something. It did seem to lessen the frequency, but that just might be normal biology, that, you know, whatever I'd eaten was moving out of the stomach and down through the intestines or into other parts and areas, and therefore, you know, those gastric juices weren't reacting or not having something to react to. Although having said that, it's still gurgling a little bit now, but not as frequent and not as loud. I can just feel the tremors in my stomach as it goes along. So yeah, I'd be really interested to know if you are all finding the same. Are you having increased sensitivities? Are they coming on quite acutely like today it did for me? What are your symptoms? And how are you getting over it? Are you getting over it? Because I'd love to know, and maybe try some out just from my own perspective. Anyway, I have finished for the day and I'm just going to get myself off home. I'll drop another video soon. Bye.